The female's back there chilling. She had... Think about the choices you're about to make. Yeah. Walking into the reptile room with my coffee, and what else could this be but a reptile room tour for all of you guys. That's right. We all need a little bit of fuel, especially when you're filming for several hours straight, to show you guys all about 100-ish reptiles. I always do a disclaimer, but first I have some very exciting announcements that you're not going to want to miss. Let's get into this reptile room tour right now. Before we hop right into the updates and whatnot, I'll just give you guys a general overview. We walk in, we have a rack here with a few different animals. We have our baby rack here that will be full later this summer. We have a wooden rack here with some Euros and some various other critters, including Vulcan, who is digging back there. But he's actually out today, so that's exciting. We got a large 6-foot rack there. We have kind of a center peninsula that houses the Chubmaster Supremes. And we also have a red-tailed Ratsnake that has a blue tail. I know, red-tailed Ratsnake, blue tail. We have the future home for the Ratsnake down here. Then as we move around the room, we have another large 6-foot rack here. We have our adult breeder rack here that is actually getting exchanged later on this weekend, I believe. And we have one more 6-foot rack and a table back there. So that is a quick overview. There's tons of very cool animals that you guys have probably never seen in here, and I hope you stick around. If you guys are particularly hyped to learn more about each individual animal, about how we run the room and how we go about feeding all these animals, etc., I do post videos on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. However, while you're down there, in the description down below, I will include my Twitch link. That is something that I'm starting up today, April 1st. You can be the first to follow me, the first to subscribe, etc. I'm going to be live streaming there, answering your questions, doing live builds, so I'll be able to help you guys throughout your build process as well. We'll do feeding videos. We'll have some like very long streams, potentially just showing some of the cool animals throughout the day. I am very excited for this opportunity. I hope you guys are willing to join me in the link down below, Twitch. It's going to be a blast. And now, following that, assuming you've already gone and followed me on Twitch, as well as you are here to stay throughout the entire video, this is Rowan. You guys may have seen her in some of our other videos. If not, I'll leave a playlist up here for all of our Hognoses. I'll be mentioning that later again, though. She is a very cool animal, and you guys heard, maybe the title, I don't know, that we have a bunch of reptiles. That is because both my girlfriend and I run this reptile room. I do all the videos and such, but she helps out. Her thing is mostly the Hognoses, so that takes a lot of weight off my back. And this is a disclaimer to you guys. I'm not advertising that everybody should have hundreds of animals or even tens of animals. We give our heart and souls into these guys. We come home from our full-time job and dedicate our entire evening to them. And if you're not willing to do something similar, I strongly do not advocate that you have a large amount of reptiles. I think it is very important that we do love all of our animals. We do know each and every single one of them. I think I'm going to stop rambling about the amount of animals you have and maybe just show you what we have. Let's go. All right, starting off the reptile room tour strong. We're going to start here at the wooden rack. They are all 4x2x2s, 120 gallons, and we're actually going to start with Vulcan at the bottom because I still have some crickets left over. And oh yeah, if you guys were wondering, I'm going to be feeding a whole bunch of stuff in this video as well, like the turtles. Nice. Let's go. The Tachydromus, and maybe even some frogs. Hey. All right, Yote. He's so fast. Vulcan is a yellow Ackie monitor. He was produced by my good friend Cody Joe, who actually did a breeding loan with me for this beautiful little baby right here. He's no longer a baby. If I had to guess, Vulcan is about like 4 years old, somewhere around there. So definitely not a baby anymore. Definitely not full grown either. but eats like an absolute behemoth and isn't the most tame monitor in the world, unfortunately. I just unfortunately don't have the time to tame him down like I did back when I had Bowser, and he was just like a sweetheart. I still love Vulcan. He is very, very intelligent. He knows the like shaking of the cup. Yeah, see? No, I don't have anything. Nothing. Nothing for you. Mistake. Turn around. There you go. Oh. His tank is definitely due for an overhaul. I do have a whole bunch of projects that are coming up though, so it will probably stay as is for a while. And once we got all these new tank builds done, his will be getting a remodel as well. Ideally, in a perfect world, and I don't think it's going to happen while we live in this current place, these guys would all be getting 6x2x2s, and that will give them ample space. Alrighty, and while Vulcan tackles down his prey, we will move on to Indy. This is Bree's northern blue-tongued skink, Tiliqua skinkoides intermedia. This is Indy. He is a very good boy for the most part. He can be a bit of a rabble-rouser. As you guys know, the northern blue-tongued skinks are typically kept quite a bit drier than the Indonesian counterparts, and that is true with India as well. His enclosure is, as I mentioned, a 4x2x2. He has UVB. He has a heat light that's over there. It's controlled by a thermostat, so it's not on currently, but Indy is living the dream. Am I right, buddy? Yeah. Someday I would like to have Bree on the channel to introduce all of her animals and really talk about them. If you guys would like that, let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely do my best to make that happen, although I cannot guarantee a time frame. Now that we're done with Indy, we can move on to these two troublemakers. This is Olga and Hugo. Olga is my female Uromastyx geri, or Saharan Uromastyx, and oh, she's like, I am out of here, dog. And Hugo is my male Niger Uromastyx, or Saharan Uromastyx, or whatever you want to call it. These guys are one of my pride and joys. I think I'm going to say something special about them all. Hugo is just such a chill dude. Unfortunately, these guys are wild caught. I got them as long-term captives from one of my good friends, and I have actually produced Uromastyx in the past, and I'm really hoping to produce them again this year. Such cool lizards. Honestly, if you're thinking about getting a bearded dragon, I would almost recommend these over a bearded dragon. I would say these have more specialized care. However, they're much more rewarding. If you have the budget to purchase one of these, I would definitely go for it. If you guys are interested, I do have care sheets and stuff that I probably will be remaking just because information changes, my keeping style changes, recommendations change as well. They are in a 4x2x2, heat, very hot, like 145 to 150 Fahrenheit. They got UVB, they got just natural daylight, and they do actually have a deep heat projector there that just kind of bumps up the ambient temperature in the tank. Again, these guys are kept on a thermostat and are doing fairly well. You're looking pretty large back there, girly. You're looking pretty large. And before we get too far into this video, I do want to highlight this center peninsula type deal. Unfortunately, we have not started the Ratsnake tank, so I'm not really going to go into that. Up here, though, I can show you our beautiful Ratsnake. She's currently, she's currently in a 36 by 18 by 24 Exoterra, and will be getting upgraded to this 4 by 2 by 4. And then from there, when we have our own place and she is her full adult size, we'll probably upgrade them again into like a 6 by 3 by 6 or something crazy, but that is a long time in the future. For now, though, what we can do is just take in her beauty. Look at that snake. Absolutely stunning. Hoping that maybe we can get her tail visible. Yeah, there you go. You can see her tail there. That tail is like a nice kind of slate blue, I would call it. I don't know. She's doing fantastic. She's eating. She actually just shed like yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. She just shed. So she is looking her absolute tip-top shape. These guys, the Gonyosoma oxycephalum Borneo locale, were actually one of Bree's dream snakes. So she ended up getting a pair, and unfortunately the male ended up getting a abscess in his GI tract, or several abscesses actually, and that was confirmed by our vet. These guys, I believe, are the only ones in Canada. Thankfully, we did end up sourcing another male from the US, and he'll be joining us here probably middle of this month, middle of April when you guys watch this. So I'm very excited for that. I know Bree is thrilled. You know, sometimes luck doesn't go in your way, and you win some, you lose some, I suppose. So that's really all I had to say about the Ratsnake, but as you guys can tell, we ended up doing some renovations. This tank here is an Exoterra 24 by 18 by 36 tall. It was originally going to be redone for the Crusiohyla craspidopus, who are in here, and that is still the current plan. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I might make another video about that if you guys are interested on what upgrades are happening, where, and how. These guys ended up moving into here, and these are the Agaliocnus, or the Pachymedusa Dacne color. These guys are the Mexican waxy monkey frogs, or waxy tree frogs. They have tons of different common names. They are orbular. These guys are 2 males, which are right there and there, and a female that I just showed you there. This is Globby, Bobby, and Chubby. Bree named them some ridiculous names, and I guess I have to go with it. So basically, they're so ridiculous. If you guys want in on the joke, Globby is the female, and I always try and get that one right. And then the Blobby and, I don't know, Chungus are the 2 other ones, and I always go around and change their name every time I mention them, just because if you don't watch this video, then you'd be very confused, and I think that's kind of funny. Anyways, these guys are doing fantastic. They have a large anthurium in there, and then we also have a fairly sizable custom cages or vision water dish for them, and I really like these things. These things clean super easily. You can throw them in the dishwasher if you want. They're just fantastic. So yeah, those are great. If you're interested, check them out. I don't know. I'm not sponsored or anything. I just enjoy the product. Now over here is one of the newest, I guess, additions into the reptile room. These guys have been in quarantine for, oh shoot, probably 6 to 8 months. These guys are Chianactis occipitalis. They are a fantastically cool species from the Midwest, like Arizona, California, that kind of deal. I guess that's Southwest, the Southwest parts of the United States. These guys are super, super cool, insectivorous snakes. They'll eat bark scorpions, they'll eat crickets, they'll eat a ton of different stuff. I'm hoping to get some bark scorpions from the US and maybe try and feed a couple of them. I'm sure that would probably upset a couple of you, but apparently it actually helps with their breeding. And speaking of their breeding, we got this little monster, and this is Ho. He is a baby Chianactis occipitalis that we produced, and he is clearly very hungry. So we're gonna give him a little snack. You want this? Well, that was anticlimactic. I guess that's what we get for moving them enclosures and then trying to feed them. The common name for those guys is the Western Shovelnose Snake, so we called him Ho because, I don't know, it's a small garden utensil. Why not? And now that we've checked out the little baby Shovelnose Snakes, we can check out this rack here. This rack has changed a bit since you guys last seen it. Up top mostly, starting with the Mourning geckos. They have been moved out of that tank over there and into this tank here, simply because they are in a transition phase as they'll be getting moved into this tank right here, otherwise known as the paludarium style or skyscraper baby tank. This is 12 by 12 by 24. Currently, they're in a 12 by 12 by 18, so give them a little bit more space. This was basically just kind of thrown together for them because we ended up bringing a whole bunch of them to the Reptile Expo, so we had to clear out that tank to make sure they were all out of it. and now they're in here, and we're gonna have to do the same thing here when we move them into their new tank. Don't worry, I will be making a video about it when the time comes. Here we have the last remaining Urodactylodes symmetricus. These guys have been with us for quite a while, but they have been in grow out bins, and you guys can see just how cool these ones are. They have that really nice crest on the back of their neck. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, they are the slowest to reproduce of the Urodactylodes. We're really excited to work with these guys. We're very stoked to start producing them. And currently, there are 2 females in here, though we do have 2 complete pairs, so we have 2 males to go with them as well, that you guys will see later in this video. And the rest of this top row is going to be pretty quick because there's nothing in here. This is basically just kind of like a Tachydromus holding tank. The female was in here when she wasn't breeding, but she's currently with a male producing some babies, hopefully. We have finally upgraded the Crusiohyla craspidopus, the little froglets that we were growing out, into a 12 by 12 by 12 Exoterra. I really hope that these guys do okay. I'm just about to throw in the towel with these guys. Unfortunately, not too long ago, we had a prolapse. We ended up losing it. Very, very sad. We tried several times. We had a vet help. We had some vet techs help. We had a whole bunch of help with these guys. And unfortunately, there's many reasons why that I'm not going to get into in this video, but I think this batch from this specific breeder is kind of messed up and kind of doomed from the very beginning. But with that being said, I do still have a couple crickets left over, so we will attempt to feed this guy right up here. They're so cool, but man, are they a pain in the butt. Anywho, moving on from that, we actually have another empty tank. This is where the 2 female Urodactylodes was living. 8 by 8 by 12 Exoterra. They got upgraded over there. We're going to be moving one of the clouded geckos into there. Over here, we have some baby Tachydromus. These are the Tachydromus smardinus. These are the last ones that we have for this season. They're going to start producing eggs again here right away, so we will have plenty more available. I truthfully don't... Oh, there we go. There we are. You can see his head back there. Absolutely gorgeous. These guys are just incredible lizards. I'll show you the adults when we move over here in the room. We will move on. This is the only Stropharis wellingtone in Canada, as far as we know, otherwise known as the Western Shield Spiny-tailed gecko. You can kind of see her tail there. These are part of the genus of that famous BBC clip where the gecko shoots like ooze out of its tail. Same genus, different species. Doing absolutely fantastic, but we desperately are looking for a male, or we're looking to sell her as well. So if you're interested in just having a very, very rare, very, very cool pet, let me know. She has one heck of an appetite and is doing incredible. Basically, from here on out, we have a whole row of Chahoua. Whether they are out is not likely, especially for this one. This is one of the females that we actually didn't raise, so she's not used to handling, she's not out very often, and she spooks really easily. And then this is Wallflower. This is an absolutely stunning baby from Sundown Reptiles, and we got her for a steal. I'm sure Brian is kicking himself right now, but he's probably also not watching this video, so I don't have to worry about that. Moving on, we have Jigsaw, our beautiful male kind of red Chahoua. These guys are all PI Chahuas, by the way. I think that Jigsaw is one of our most beautiful males. Just stunning, like raspberry reds, really nice pattern. Not a crazy white color, but still pretty nice. And again, just another stunning example of a Chahoua. These guys are called Monaro Gecko Chahoua as a scientific name, and their common name is Chahoua or mossy prehensile tail gecko. I'm gonna stick with Chahoua because that's easier to say. Right next to Jigsaw is Lark's tank, and unfortunately she's actually not out right now. First Chahoua produced here at the Jungle Vault, and oh man, she's stunning. Definitely way nicer than the parents she was produced from, so can't complain about that. Down here, one of my pride and joys, the Oophaga histriónica fuego. These guys are doing fantastic. Fortunately, the one that I'll show you later on in the video actually started calling. I was shocked and like so excited at the same time. And then right next to her, or I believe it's a her, hopefully it's a her, right next to her we do have hopefully another female, although it was sold as a probable male. Normally he sits back there, but yeah, he's not out right now. So if you guys are interested in seeing where these guys came from, how I got them, and the entire process of importing these guys, I'll leave a link in the top right-hand corner of your screen for you to check out, as well as the description down below. Oh, Shell. We love Shell. I think it might have been 2 or 3 reptile room tours ago. I was actually very concerned for him. He was not acting normal. He was not active. It wasn't all that cold outside, so I wasn't really sure why he was acting that way. And I'm very happy to report that he is back to his normal bubbly self, although probably getting due for a beak trim again here. And yes, like I mentioned, his tank will be coming. Obviously, I have to move these guys into their final enclosure, but after that, I'll be building or buying a tortoise pen that goes the entire length of this rack. Additionally to his eventual full 6 foot by 3 foot pen, he will have an area outside to go roam for a couple hours while we're out there. And yeah, Shell's doing great. He's back, he's active. He's just straight chilling. Alrighty, and now that we've covered the shell, we can move over to this rack here. And we'll start at the very tippy top. And yes, believe it or not, that does mean we still have a crested gecko here in the reptile room. He is for sale if you guys are interested. A lavender lily white, going for a great price. Male, proven breeder. So let us know by email. You can visit our website down below and email us there, or you can just message me on Instagram. Right next to them, we have nothing. And next to nothing, we have 2 beautiful baby captive bred Boiga. These guys we gotta check out. Well, I was going to try and show you guys them, but unfortunately they're both hiding. Lock and Key are... I will try and get some footage tonight to throw over this so you guys can see just how beautiful these guys are doing. And if you want to see them for sure, you can actually check the reptile room feeding video, feeding all my pets. I'll leave another link up top here for you guys to check it out. We show just how easy and sometimes how challenging it can be to feed baby Boiga, especially when you want them to eat a decent meal rather than just shove a pinky tail down their throat. We got them to eat some full pinky mice as their first meals, and that's how we do it. I give all the credit to Bree on those. It's all her that feeds these guys because holy crap, I do not have time for that. And speaking of the Boiga, well, we got nothing else up there. Those are just empty tanks. We can go down here to the Boiga, and this is the female. This is Calamity. She produced all of the offspring that we have. We actually have 3 eggs in the incubator cooking right now. She was actually out earlier today, so I'll cut to some footage of that, but this snake is so cool. So reluctant to bite, so calculated and methodical. You can even tell when she like jerks up and looks at the camera. She's not like defensive. She totally trusts us, and a very, very cool species. Now that it's not to say that Boiga are for everyone. That's definitely not the case. Obviously, there is some risk of if they gnaw on you, you can have a reaction to them, and it's not necessarily ideal. So with that being said, I'm not going to recommend Boiga to everybody, but to those who have some snake experience and want a really cool addition, Boiga, especially the Nigroceps or the black-headed cat snake like Calamity here. Now, right next to Calamity, we have the pair of Chahoua tank. They are back to a pair of Chahoua. We're not trying to make any abominations anymore. Yeah, I'll let you guys see if you can even spot her. Take a screenshot and send it to me on Instagram if you can see her. And now that you've done that, check it out. Just chilling up there. Super dark today, which is interesting. Normally, she is quite light, but she is very, very fired up. I'll share a couple thoughts about Chahoua and why I think they're more interesting than crested geckos at least, and that is because they are always out. As you can tell, the cresty that we have is buried in his log, hiding, completely put off to nowhere land, and the Chahoua is just basking in the UVB. Just hanging, The UVI is not high back there, maybe 1 or so, if not even slightly less, and she's just out basking, soaking in the rays. It's something that you really truly don't see very often from crested geckos, and something that I love and see all the time with Chahoua. And honestly, more times than not, if you're gonna walk by those tanks, the chances of you seeing them are very, very high. Of course, as I'm filming this, only a couple of them were out, but that's how the cookie crumbles in this episode. So that is the Chahoua tank. Monaro Gecko Chahoua, you guys can see it there. This is definitely my favorite genus in the room, Tachydromus. I think these guys are my second favorite species of that genus, but yeah, we can check these guys out. These are the Tachydromus smaragdinus, otherwise known as the emerald grass lizards. Might actually have some crickets. Let's go check. Turns out I do. Sweet. Toss those in and watch them go mad. There's like too much going on. Oh, the male just flew down from nowhere and is back up again. That's the female. The male is sexually dichromatic, so he is right here. You can tell he's got that really nice brown lateral line. And I actually found that if I feed them carotenoids, the kind of red color enhancing pigment, these guys turn almost red on the side. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I double checked with Bree and a couple of my friends, and they were like, holy crap, that is insane. And truthfully, I was blown away. These guys are very cool. I recommend them to anybody who wants like a Knowles or just a very cool display lizard. This species specifically is less tame than the Dorsalis. Those guys over there that I'll show you here pretty soon. Hold your horses. These guys are phenomenal. I could go on about them all day. If you're interested in more information, again, I have a playlist. The Emerald Dragon project that I have running needs an update here pretty soon, maybe with another tank build or something. I would highly recommend checking that out, and I hope you enjoyed watching these guys eat a little bit. We already covered that tank here, and now we can cover the bottom of this row. The turtles, the Geomytis spangleri, otherwise known as the black-breasted leaf turtles, are back. Let's give them some food. Just as I had assumed, you are already trampling all of your plants. Do you want some food? Get it. Get it. Nice. Let's go. Now I gotta climb out of here. They always run immediately after catching something. They always just take off. At least mine do. Where are you going? Just eat it. No, no. Oh my god. Still got the cricket in your mouth though. She fell about a foot. Don't worry. She's totally fine. Oh, now you're gonna decide to eat it. What a goof. He didn't want anything to eat yesterday when I tried to feed him. I don't think he's gonna want anything today either. So you just saw these guys chowing down. It actually has been breaking the fourth wall here. It has been about an hour since I fed them. But the female's back there chilling. She had... You guys are ridiculous. If you guys are interested on a couple of videos on them, again, I'll leave all of the things that I talk about in the description down below, as well as the cards. But these guys, I just made a video kind of doing up these enclosures for them, and a day later, they haven't completely trashed them yet. So that's a positive sign, I suppose. I'm sure they're well on their way to absolute total destruction. They are the way they are, and they love to destroy things. Unfortunately, you guys saw he wasn't actually interested in eating. I think his mind is pretty much solely on breeding. And if you guys are wondering how the breeding goes, I will be making a series of the entire breeding process. I did like brumating, putting them down, bringing them back, health checks, and setting up these enclosures. The last part will actually be seeing if they get a confirmed lock, and once I see that, I will be thrilled. I will also be weighing the female fairly regularly just to make sure that she's putting on a good amount of weight. And if she is, we can keep our fingers crossed. That is the Geomyda spangleri, or the black-breasted leaf turtles. I don't have official names for these guys. I actually don't. So I want you guys to go to the comments and leave your name suggestions for these two, male and a female. I used to call them Groot and Gamora, but I don't know, that didn't really stick. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Right next to those two goofballs are these three goofballs. These are Leucasium damium, otherwise known as the beaded geckos. They are an Australian species of gecko that are very hard to come by. I love them. They are the squad. They are the Three Stooges. They're absolutely hilarious. And, well, what are you guys doing? Why? He's like, you has food? Like, I can see that you clearly have food stashed somewhere. You better give it to me. And these two are like the paparazzi just in the background waiting. Anyways, these guys are so rewarding. They're such a cool, interactive little species of gecko. And I will be doing an update on these guys. We think the female might have eggs. So what we're going to be doing is reconstructing their entire setup and using a method that we have learned. And you're going to have to check out that video to see what that method is. The beaded geckos, the Leucasium damium, fantastic species that I highly recommend adding because they're just so stinking cute. So cute. This is one of the male Urodactylodes symmetricus. Unfortunately, he also serves as a cautionary tale for those of you who decide to trust the LED UVBs. We thought it was a good idea. One day it was reading about a UVI of 2, and that was okay, yeah, that's great. That's fine for these guys. We don't really need to worry about it. They like basking anyway. So we went on about our way. Shortly after, maybe 2-3 days go by, and we noticed this guy was kind of like clouded and weirdly like faded over. And that's when it struck us, hey, that looks like a UVB burn. So we decided to measure the UVI, and the UVI was 56. Just to give you guys some perspective, that I don't think exists on Earth. If it does, it's at like the very tip of the tallest mountains on a sunny day. So you're literally the closest to the sun you possibly can be while still on Earth. With that perspective in mind, he's actually doing great. We were really scared for him. His eye was cloudy. He just wasn't doing well. He couldn't grip to anything. We took him out of the enclosure about a month ago and have had him in here ever since, and he's actually doing great. His eye is completely normal. His back is healed. Everything is back to normal. So it really is a testament to just how resilient reptiles truly can be. Now that we've covered this entire rack, we can move over to the adult breeder rack that I mentioned. Up top, we have the little baby spicy boy, Mr. Ho. We have that Urodactylodes that I just talked about. And over here, we have Mr. Strigezilla, the OG man of the room. And unfortunately, he's in the middle of a shed, so I'm not even gonna bother stressing him out and showing you guys. I am just going to leave him where he is. I will give you guys a bit of a ramble so you don't hate on me too much because some of you, I imagine, might assume that these bins are fairly plain. It is breeding season. We don't have a ton of ornaments. As you can tell, all of our ornaments are up here, so don't get too haterade-y on this video. Down here, you'll see Saguaro down there, and he has all of his enrichment in there, and that's what they all will have post-breeding. We are also getting a brand new rack to fit this space. There's still quite about a foot of space over there, and we're going to be having a rack that fits nicely in there all the way to the wall. So that should be coming this Friday, but I don't want to wait to make this video because that will be a cool update for the next video. So we showed you Rowan earlier in the video, but she is actually getting a little bit lighter, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, and still her very spunky self. Again, first hognose Brie ever had, and she's just a gorgeous girl. This is our gorgeous moon dust, otherwise known as an Arctic lavender. She is definitely gravid. She's put on a ton of weight, as well as just like overall, like you pick her up and she's dense. You know that feeling? I mean, I guess if you don't breed snakes, you probably don't know that feeling. That is Equinox, the beautiful Arctic lavender. This is Callista. This is our first time breeder. She is our beautiful adult female now, 3.5 to 4 years old. AAA purple line, Arctic albino anaconda, for those of you guys that are wondering. And she is also most certainly gravid. She, you know what, actually, I'm not going to go too far into it. Maybe we'll do like a pairing video / breeding Hognoses video, and just what pairings we're doing. But she is doing fantastic. Always spunky, as you guys saw. Like I mentioned, Bree is definitely the arbiter of all of the Hognoses. I know them, I love them, and I clean them occasionally, but she does all the breeding and all the knowledge behind all the cool color morphs and whatnot. Hi, Syrup! This is Syrup. She is a purple line tiger or partial tiger, basically just a normal. And she is paired to Lux, our albino male, albino anaconda that is, so we'll have a whole bunch of very normal Hognoses for you guys this year. Last year we produced almost no normals. It's challenging to convince somebody who wants their first pet snake to buy like an $1,100 snake. So these guys will be about 250 bucks, and if you're interested, let us know. Last but not least, in terms of adult hoggies, we have Lux, the male that I was just talking about. He's a stunning proven breeder. This was Bree's second hognose, and he's one of the kind of OG males that we've been producing with for several years now. And at this point, you're probably wondering, Mike, where are all your snakes? Well, here is one of my like 3 snakes that I own. This is my beautiful boy, Saguaro. He is an Arizona mountain kingsnake, Lampropeltis pyromilana woodeni. Absolutely stunning boy. Typically very chill. And I guess today is also one of those days. An absolutely stunning snake. And right there you can see his little hi. I love him. I almost named him something from Hawaii because of that, but I figured he's an Arizona mountain kingsnake. We gotta name him something Arizonian, and that's why he got the name Saguaro. Beautiful, beautiful snake, and I'm so happy. This was my very first snake that I ever got at the age of, oh boy, 24? Kind of crazy to think that I've been keeping reptiles for almost 2 decades by the time I got my first snake. And don't think I forgot. I know. You guys are all waiting for an update on this dude right here. And it's coming, I promise. And now coming up on the rack over here, we are not gonna go straight into the Cruzio Hyla, we'll go over there after. Right now, we're actually gonna go and feed the Tachydromus dorsalis. These guys are one of my favorites in this whole room, and I think you're about to see why. And one of the most prominent reasons why I think you're gonna love these guys so much is because of their feeding response. And these guys I know are getting hungry. I have my male and female Midori. My male's name is Turok. Nice. Here you go. Here you go. These guys are so wicked cool. He's done back there, I can see that. Come on. Come on. Here you go. Look at that. Look how special that is. These guys are like, what was that? Eat it. No. Hey. There. There. That was rude. Quite rude, in fact. Now that I've given them a couple, I'm just going to shake in the rest. I just wanted to show you guys how sociable these guys can be, especially the female. She's so cool. So fun to hang around. She's always out and active and just roaming around. These guys are just fantastic pets. Something that I would highly recommend. Now that these guys have had their meal, I guess I'll continue to talk about their enclosure. And this is a Leap Habitats enclosure. I made a build video about the entire thing, so if you guys are curious, you guys can go check that out. I will be making an entire review video. Overall, I think these guys are great. They're an incredible modular system, and they fill the needs of my beautiful Tachydromus, and that makes me happy. So That's all I'm going to say about it. Keep your eye out for the review in the next coming weeks. Yeah, that's their tank. It's 22 by 17 by 24 inches tall, so it's a pretty good size. I would like a bit bigger, but that will have to be much later down the road when we have more space to accommodate everybody and we can upgrade everything into larger enclosures. I cannot wait for that day. We need to redo mostly all of this tank. This is the Crusohyla Craspidopus tank. There are 4 adult Crusohylas in here, or just about adult, pretty darn close. I've had several of these for about 4 years now, and a couple of them for almost 2 years. So they're doing great. They're eating. They're not breeding yet, unfortunately. I really want them to breed, but I know this isn't really the setup to do it in. They do have a nice little pond down here. I don't really have a rain system in order to simulate like a true rain on this tank, so I think that might be part of the issue. With that being said, these guys are absolutely stunning. I love these so much, and I'm so happy I still have them. There's been a ton of issues with these guys in Canada. That's likely due to the breeder who produced the majority of them. But yeah, that's a private conversation for later. Or maybe a little bit on Twitch. Leapfrogging the leap tank in the middle, we can go to these guys here. These are my beautiful Oophaga, pumilio, bastimentos. These guys are the gold dust basties. This one is kind of like a tealy green color, which is kind of strange. And the other female that, of course, probably will not come out while I'm filming is a very nice orange color. There is a male in here, although he hasn't been too vocal recently. So I'm hoping that some heavier mistings and heavier feedings get him running again. Yeah, this tank will actually be getting replaced by a custom tank that I built, and we'll be building that live on Twitch as well. So if you're curious, again, the Twitch link is in the description, and I look forward to seeing you all there. But this is a 12 by 12 by 18 Exoterra, set up fairly simply, I will say. It's doing pretty well. Very happy with it so far. Next to the Exoterra, we have one of the newest tanks built here. This is the Diplodactylus galeatus, as you can see. These tags, you can find them all over Etsy. We got them from Cloud Forest Designs. Up to you who you decide to support. I'm not getting paid by anybody, so I don't care. Anyways, these guys are extremely cute, and I wish they were out. Unfortunately, neither of them are out, which is definitely a bit of a bummer. They're Australian, they're very cute, they're so much fun, and they really like to dig their own burrows. I believe one of them actually dug under there and is chilling in there, and there's a second male, I believe is the one that is not in there, putzing around here somewhere. What we're going to go ramble about is her. This is the beautiful Thai bamboo rat snake. This is Cardinal. She is, as I mentioned, a Thai bamboo rat snake, otherwise known as a Oreocryptophis porphyraceus coxeye. Her enclosure is on the list of things to do. Obviously, it's still fairly well set up. Like, you can't really complain on an enclosure that looks this nice with that many lush plants, but it does need a refurbishing. The substrate needs to be gone through, and that will be done maybe by the next reptile room tour. Obviously, we are focusing on doing a lot of the upgrades to the binned frogs, like this guy over here. That's the calling male that is no longer out. He was just out. I love her so much. They love to stay cool, which in this reptile room can be kind of challenging, but that is why she is completely on the very bottom of the rack, and she's just such an interesting little snake. This is an adult size, less than 4 feet, probably 38 inches maybe, somewhere around there. Where do you find a purely red snake with perfect black banding down its back? Nowhere else. Continuing my rambling, but not too much, because Mr. Savu, otherwise known as Ender, is no longer out right now. He's hiding. Again, another beautiful snake that I'll have to show maybe in like a show all my pets or like a meet all my pets video, which we do still plan to do. And I will talk more about the hognose version when I get over here to talk about some of the hognoses. But until that point, we have a little baby Chahoua chilling here. Hi. How are you? You're very cute. Yes, we do have a baby Chahoua. He is sold, so that's great. Who is not sold are the residents in the tank right next to him. And these are, unfortunately, an extremely overgrown tank. These are the Ameerega bassleri sisa. They're a very cool species of dart frog. I need to get you on video. Thank you. Absolutely stunning frog. Very stark black with like a very nice chromy, tealy type blue. Showing up almost white on camera, but it is blue. Or like a teal color. A very beautiful frog that I would highly recommend to anybody who's looking for dart frogs. And you know who to hit up if you're interested. That's me you're supposed to hit up, so yeah. Shoot me a DM if you're interested. Oh boy, I'm starting to run out of gas here, but we are on one of the last little racks, so let's power through it. Up here we have the other male Urodactylodes symmetricus. Again, another beautiful lizard that is now fired up and probably going to hide from the camera. Another very cool and interesting lizard that is very easy to take care of. I don't know why the Urodactylodes aren't more popular than they currently are. They make for very easy pets. They're simple to hold. They don't jump. They're basically a crested gecko in miniature form. I guess they don't have all the morphs and polymorphic traits that cresties have, so that's probably why. I answered my own question. And continuing throughout the rack, we have two of the clouded geckos. These guys are the Geckoella nebulosus or nebulosa. It changes like every year, so who knows where we're at right now. But these guys are in a very neat like bioactive bin setup with live plants, cleanup crew, everything that you need to be bioactive. So they're absolutely gorgeous geckos, and we are selling one of them, the little baby. We are trying to sell if you're interested and you're local, or even if you want to ship to the States. We can do that for you. It's just not that cheap. Now that we've hopefully got some footage of those guys, we can move over to Stu. Stu is an American toad that lives here. He was shipped on a random shipment. We did not expect to have him. We do use him to scent some of the mice that we get and are trying to feed our more problematic hognoses, and it seems to work pretty well. He is a tri-toad, so he only has 3 legs. Well, he has 4 legs, but only 3 feet. I think you've been waiting long enough for an update on the beautiful Totoka, the Fijian banded iguana. All you Americans, suck it. His tank has seriously grown in really well. Unfortunately, we don't know if it like got too dry or what happened, but the pothos dropped most of its leaves down below, but decided to put out some like perfectly beautiful ones up top. This tank is holding up so well. The plants are growing in. The grass has filled out the tank and really makes it come together. Unfortunately, the downside to keeping him outside of the room now is he is much less social. We noticed that pretty quickly after we brought him out. He's definitely just less apt to hang out with us, although we are trying to bring him into the room and involve him in our daily activities a little bit more often now, so he's definitely calming back down. It's not that he's aggressive, by the way. He just runs away or kind of grips his branch extra strong, and we have to gently remove him to get him to come hang out. But with that being said, that is Totoka, his 4 foot by 28 inch by 4 foot enclosure, and that is that. Thank you, Totoka. We love you, and we leave you. Friends, we have finally made it to the very end, the last piece. I will be showing you guys several of the hognoses and the kingsnakes from here, as well as 3, maybe 4 baby hognoses. If you guys are curious as to what all of the Hognoses are. I did do a video with Bree, so the Hognose ruler herself of this room, and I'll leave it up there as well as in the description, and maybe I'll leave it at the end of this video as like a clickable link as well. Arctic Conda Double Het Coral. This is being traded to Hugh from the US, Immaculate Hogs, and we are going to be getting a very exciting addition from this trade here. So Hugh, thank you very much. We appreciate the effort and the trade, because this is an absolutely gorgeous female, and we are very excited to get our edition that you guys will see in another video. So I'm going to get chomped on, I know it. Look at that belly. Wowzers. Jet black. Stunning. Avalon is a moondust het albino tiger. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous baby. Lavender again, so something that I find very desirable in Hognoses, and I'm sure most of you can too. It looks like the colors are actually picking up pretty well. It's a very mute gray and like a purple color, and that is pretty much how it looks. So thank you, Canon. Next up on the list is Soul Cat. This is, I think, honestly, one of my favorite Hognoses that we own. She's an albino het sable tiger, and she's also a green phase. What a mouthful that is. Come on. Yep, rage. Look at how gorgeous. Oh man, yes. Perfect oranges. Really nice tiger stripes down the back. Couple breaks here and there, but overall gorgeous. Again, one of the most colorful and beautiful snakes that we own. I love her and cannot wait for like 3.5 years down the road when she's breeding age and breeding size, because holy smokes, she's gonna be stunning. And last land shark that I'm going to show you guys is Polaris. Polaris is a Casper Conda, one of the very few, I think there might be 2 of these in Canada, or in North America, excuse me. I'll say like a handful, just to secure my reasoning in in how rare these guys are. Would love for him to not be wrapping around his humid hide, but that's what he's deciding to do. So yeah, again, this is a male, and so he'll be breeding probably next year for us, and we'll be able to get some very, very cool combinations out of this extremely rare gene in North America. Hey, 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 hey. Where are you going? What is your plan? Normally, he's like a shark, but today he's being... Uh-oh, might have spoken too soon. Yeah, look at that belly. It's like nice and purple. Oh, stunning. We've covered the baby Hognoses. Obviously, like I mentioned, there are several still remaining to be covered, but if you guys are interested, again, links down below. I've said that like 90 times, but that is what it is, and that's what we're going to do. So now I'm going to pick a couple adult breeders that we have bred this year and show you guys them. First off, we have Arkham. You guys can tell why his name is Arkham right there. Wonder what that looks like. Does like a, yeah, very cool head stamp on him. Looks just like the bat symbol, so Bree was genius enough to name him Arkham, and hopefully he had some successful pairings this year. He is a super arctic het lavender, possible het sunburst, and a tiger as well. So definitely a mouthful, and I for sure did not remember that. I just read it right here. That makes life so much easier. A gorgeous male that will hopefully have produced some offspring for us. Alrighty, and for our last subadult that I'm going to be showing you guys is Horizon. Horizon is probably up there with like the second prettiest snake in my opinion. She is a sunburst, otherwise known as an albino sable. Just a stunning creature that has a bit of an attitude issue, but I'll give her. She kind of earns it. Look how pretty those oranges are. She's like creamsicle colored. It's hard to go wrong with that kind of snake. Like, whew. We do have several other Hognoses that are being kept in here right now. Typically, they are males. We do not keep anything past a subadult in these enclosures. The breeding males are in these as well. But in terms of females, no adult females live in these tubs. This right here is Cinder. This is one of the female gray-banded king snakes that Bree owns. As you guys can tell, there's a pattern in our reptile room. It's pretty much all colubrids and one python. Well, these guys do not break that mold. A very clean gray band that is, frankly, next to perfect. And now we can move on to the other two that we have. We got Asher in here. Slightly lighter color, a little bit less orange, but still, again, a very, very beautiful and clearly hungry gray-banded king snake. These guys came from Europe, I believe, and they were eating perfectly on mice right off the bat, so no complaints there. Eating well, growing extremely well. And the finale to the gray bands is Scoria. She is the one that started it all. Bree's very first gray band. Again, another almost entirely perfect gray band, except that one little scale that decided to be black instead of orange. And that's it. As you can tell, Bree and me, I totally agree, are totally after the very clean gray band look. We're not looking for anything too muddy or crazy coloration. Just the straight classic gray band is what we're shooting for, and Scoria fits that mold perfectly. I cannot wait to produce these guys, but that'll be probably like 3 to 4 years in the future. No, think about the choices you're about to make. Don't do it. Thank you. The very last thing that I'm going to show you guys today is something that none of you guys have seen unless you watch that Hognose video that I mentioned earlier. You'll have seen this. This is Gambit and Spade. These guys are South American Hognoses. They are somewhere in here. There we go. These guys are actually a mimic of a viper species, and their common, or their scientific name is Xenodon dorbignii. This is the male. Maybe he'll be a bit pissy, but yeah, he's a very cool snake. As you guys can see, much smaller than their North American counterparts. I guess they're not counterparts. Convergent evolution, you know what I mean. And in good news, our female right here, little Spunky, has been putting on weight extremely fast. Right now, she's doing her like flatten her body out type thing to kind of scare me. I would be so proud of Bree if she produced these guys. We would be the first in Canada to produce these guys, and I guess at the end of the day it really doesn't matter, but it is still kind of cool. I mean, that's very interesting. These guys are technically legal where most hognoses like westerns and whatnot are illegal. So if you live in the States and your state it's illegal to own a western hognose, then these guys typically are legal. Obviously, you need to check your local laws, but yeah. Look at her. Stunning, beautiful girl. Oh, I know. And that's what they do. They flag their tail. Whoa. See that red tail? Hey. We'll let her be. And after over 2 hours of filming and a whole lot of fun, I hope you guys enjoyed this reptile room tour. I know I did. I always have a blast going around showing you guys what's going on, all the new projects that's happening, the plans for the future. So if you guys do like that kind of thing, make sure you click subscribe, like this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I do answer every comment, so do that. And if there was something in this video that you guys didn't have answered, or you're wondering, or you just want to come out and hang out in the reptile room with me, I'll be live on Twitch at this time for numerous hours that day. I'm thinking probably like a 3-4 hour stream. Maybe we'll have some drinks, we'll hang out with some friends. Hopefully you guys want to make an account and drop by if you don't already have a Twitch account. I know there's a bunch of you gamers in there. You're just like me. I want to thank you guys all very much for watching. I don't really want to ramble for any longer than I already have, so we'll catch you in the next one. Twitch stream, very cool videos, Madagascar, etc. Yeah, bye.